Joystick Show.
How's it, everybody? And welcome back to the Joystick Show, where it's me, Drake, and Thomas.
Yay!
And Scott.
Yeah.
Why did I say yay?
I don't know.
I cheered for my own
Yay.
name. That's terrible.
Well,
Wow.
hey, it's the three of us, your three favorite friends. We're going to talk about some stuff today. But you know what? Thanks for sticking with us. Super much mahalos. And like and subscribe. We always talk about that. I don't know if you are doing it, but if you are doing it, thank you. And if you're not, like, come on, bros.
That's great. Yeah, and share with a friend because if somebody would enjoy it, because we're really close to 4,000 downloads, and it'd be nice to hit it in October so that we can, I don't know what we can get to by December, but it'd be just nice to do that. So
Please and thank you.
I'd like it.
there you go. That's our request right off the bat.
Boom. And
Okay,
it's
so
free.
Now let's.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, unless we start some sort of cool Patreon, which maybe.
Now we're going straight to OnlyFans.
Oh yeah.
That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Feet pics.
Yeah, I've got. I've been.
Bonus content and feed pics.
Yeah, doing a lot of pedicures. So
Kind of hilarious. You
Yeah.
just post videos of you going to get pedicures.
yeah, and I just put my fingers in between my toes all the time, just like this, and just like.
Oh, like it.
That's an ASMR.
That always feels great.
Yeah, it does.
Wow, super off track. Really weird way to.
Something to look
way
forward to,
start
guys.
this one.
Ew.
We got a little bit of news today, very little bit. It's mainly about Gen V and Ahsoka. But Scott watched something else that's from Wes Anderson. That looks pretty interesting.
Critter interesting.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But we got a little bit of news as well. Tiny bit. Let's get through the news.
Yeah.
All right, Drake, fire away on the first bit of news.
So if you like kicking balls, then you're gonna love soccer-related
These
things.
nuts.
Oh, heyo. I don't know why I didn't do that. It's my typical go-to. But Welcome to Wrexham is up for season 2. And if you don't know, they got promoted. So the Robs have taken this team that was in essentially the bottom of the league and brought them into the EFL, where they have a chance to rise up essentially 3 more ranks before the Premier League. It's a very personal story with this town. And they're finding new vibrance. Just because they got promoted, the town now has, to a degree, not doubled in size, but the revenue has gone straight up. People are literally going to that town just to see the people from the documentary and just to cheer on Wrexham, which means the tourism has gone up. Infrastructure obviously got a little bit better. And then the visibility of this team has gotten way large. And to see something or people come together for that one cause is very uplifting. So if you're having a shitty day and you're like, man, the world sucks, you go on, you watch Wrexham, you see some balls get kicked, you see some sad cry things, and then you feel good about it because human beings still have a little bit of humanity.
Damn. Well said. It is interesting. Well, actually, let me just ask this. Isn't it interesting how everything that Ryan Reynolds touches, it seems like it just turns to gold?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mint Mobile, Aviation Gin, Deadpool, like everything that guy is involved with now, I feel like it just makes money.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
He's a good businessman.
Yeah. Did he... Yeah. It's strange, though, because I feel like that model has been there, right? Like, invest to a degree, and people have done it before, but not to the elevation of Ryan Reynolds.
You know what, though? Like, I like that he inserts himself in the, like, promotion of the products.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like,
Mint
he's good
Mobile's
at
one is
being,
hilarious.
like, funny and, like,
Yeah.
witty, clever, charming, all that wrapped together.
Yeah.
Being silly, but you also like the guy in the same bit of 30-second bit thing you're watching. So he's like got that dialed in. So you put him in any sort of commercial and he's selling it. Like,
Yeah.
So
He's
good.
definitely,
So
he's up
crazy.
there with The Rock and, like, Shaq and Snoop Dogg in terms of all the things they have their hands in that are super successful.
just BIPOC dudes. You know?
Yeah, dude. Doing it up.
Yeah, 100%. So yes, definitely check out Welcome to Wrexham Season 2 on Hulu. we got something that I'm super looking forward to this month. We posted something about it on Instagram, and I don't know if you guys got to see the full trailer. I think it was like a 20-second little thing, but it basically shows Peter Parker and Miles Morales going up against Venom. Really badass trailer. I mean, it looks incredible. I'm like, God, just give us that in live action. I'd be stoked. But I'm stoked about the game because I've gone back and started to play the Miles Morales version just to redo it, New Game Plus lately, and that game is so awesome. I mean, it is so damn good. So we are getting that, I think, on the 20th of this month.
I think you're right about that. Yeah.
I could check.
Yeah. I'm pumped for that game. It looks good and fun. The first one and the Miles Morales one were such fun to get through. I'm going to sink a lot of hours into this.
I'm excited for the skins.
Yeah. There's a ton. So if you pre-order it now, you get 2 skins. You get one for Peter, one for Miles. And then if you do the deluxe edition, which is $10 more, which sounds crazy to say, it's $79.99. Regular edition, $69.99.
$69.
But if you get the deluxe edition, you get 5 extra skins per character, plus 3 bonus points, plus extra features in camera mode. I'm like,
and the game's already beaten when you get it. So.
Yeah,
you get everything.
I mean, I wouldn't even doubt it. It's like, why even like to give you 3, 4, 5 extra skill points? Kind of seems a little cheap.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, Avengers. Yep. Go for it.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go back in the past for a second.
Do it.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds, right? Just because we just saw this and we were talking about Ryan Reynolds. Isn't it great how him and Taylor Swift are putting the Chiefs on the map? Like, I don't even feel like anybody had ever heard of that team before. Taylor Swift started going to those games, and Ryan Reynolds with Hugh Jackman and Dan Levy and all that.
I do know a Hungarian-born German woman who loves the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah?
So there's another show coming out. No.
Do we know this person? Wait, what is this reference?
You don't, but it's...
anything is possible.
My neighbor loves the Chiefs, so that's super related.
Yeah, all my friends love the Chiefs, all right, guys? Come on.
What are you saying?
I've got friends that love the Chiefs, okay?
Yeah, so wild times out there in pop culture world. They are also hiring, Marvel, I should say, is hiring somebody to write an X-Men movie, which I could not be more happy about.
God, yes.
Let's
get this ball rolling.
It's happening, people. It's happening. That's it.
I want it to be, who do I want it to be to write it? Taika Waititi?
No,
I don't.
Next.
Yeah. John Mulaney?
Dave Filoni.
Oh, okay.
No.
Dave Filoni, yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's got lightsabers coming out of Cyclops' eyes.
Seriously, it'd be something ridiculous.
Henry Cavill.
It's like, okay. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I don't know. There's a lot of great writers out there, and we've got a lot of them back to work, so I'm sure it's going to be great. You can't screw that up.
Yeah.
It's a legacy character team for Marvel. And also, reading the comics lately it's honestly the thing I look forward to the most out of everything. And we have some great shows to talk about tonight. So if you want to hear more about the comics, hit us up on social media. All right, so first bit of review tonight. We're already in the review portion. What was the show called that Wes Anderson has just directed, starring Benedict Cumberbatch?
Oh, right. So I went on Netflix and I was like, look at this, Benedict Cumberbatch. He's in a thing. Wes Anderson directed it. It's called The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. So it runs about 39 minutes. It's, nice and short.
I like the time.
Very Wes Anderson. Like from the clothing to, of course, the style, the way it's shot, the breaking of the fourth wall type of looking at the camera and all that stuff. The colors, everything. What's cool about this too is like they're using practical shots, like almost like you're on like a set, like backgrounds moving, like rolling off the camera and everything. So it's pretty cool. But then I didn't realize this was a short film, like one of 4 he put up. So there's some other ones. I didn't watch these other ones yet, but I'm looking forward to. It's called The Swan, The Rat Catcher, and Poison is the other one. And what's cool is in these short films, they're rotating the cast around. So you got Benedict Cumberbatch, Ray Fiennes, and Ben Kingsley are like the 3 top dudes that you recognize right away. And within the other shorts, like they're playing different characters. So kind of like an American Horror Story type of thing, just reusing them in different stories. So pretty cool. The short stories are based off of the short stories written by Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl, guys.
Name some of his work, Scott.
Boom. You may have recognized some stuff like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Duh.
Matilda.
Yup.
James and the Giant Peach.
The best.
Yeah. So
wow,
pretty big guy. So, but it's really cool. And they're really short, so you could probably watch them all in one sitting and be like the length of a movie. I just found out that there was other ones after, like they weren't all next to each other. Like I guess the Benedict Cumberbatch one was there, and then I'm scrolling more, and I'm like, what? He did another movie? And then I'm like, this is 17 minutes, and like that's how. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, okay, there's 4.
Oh. So some of them are even shorter than the 49 minutes.
The one I saw was 39 minutes. The other 3 are 17 minutes. So,
okay.
Yeah,
I only saw the Benedict one as well, so that's why I thought it was just this one thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was 49 minutes either.
Yeah.
Which is like, how did they come up with that?
I don't know. So I was reading a little bit on like how they wanted to tell the story. I think Wes Anderson was sitting on this idea for a couple years. Like, I really like this story, at least on the one I watched. He was saying he really liked that story, the story of Henry Sugar. And he's like, how do I transition this to the like live action? And I think they try to stay like super close to like what is actually written. So I guess all the dialogue is like straight from the short story. And then that's why the way it's shot and the way the set moves and stuff is kind of like a play, I think, because that's the only way for the scenes to just kind of cut and work. But the one I saw is pretty cool. Like the story itself, here's a little synopsis. It's about a rich man, Benedict Cumberbatch, who learns about a guru who can see without using his eyes, and then sets out to master the skill so he can cheat at gambling.
Sorry, I cut you off there. You were really enunciating those last word of each sentence.
Sorry, I'm super excited about this.
I could tell you were doing that.
My bad. Okay. Well, it's about a rich man who learns about a guru who can see without his eyes. So they wrap stuff around. And they're like, how is this possible? So he learns about it, and he's like, oh, I'm going to learn this and then get really good at cheating at cards, so I can get rich. So like he's already a rich dude. He just wants to get more rich. So it's like following the story. But the way it's told, the way it's shot, it's great. Very Wes Anderson. Recommend checking it out.
Wow. Wes Anderson does Roald Dahl. Sounds like something anybody would watch. Anybody.
Yeah.
Literally.
Even you?
What are other things anybody would watch?
Probably.
What about that lady you were talking about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
She watches that?
Yeah, she probably watches that. You mean the Hungarian-born German
right after the Chiefs game?
Yeah, right after the Chiefs game, she goes straight into it. Wes Anderson, Roald Dahl. Because Roald Dahl's books, I believe, were like darker, his original works, and so interesting to see Wes Anderson take it and kind of Wes Andersonify it.
Yeah, because I think he kind of lightens it up. Like I was telling you guys, I just watched not too long ago Asteroid City.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. It's like definitely interesting. I think. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I don't even know if I have anything else to say. It was like I think I have to. I don't know, watch it one more time to really understand what I saw, because there's some interesting things in it.
Yeah, based on the trailer, I was like, the cast is cool and it looks very Wes Anderson. Like he definitely has a style. So I was like, okay, I'll check this out. But I can't really tell you what the movie is about. Like, yeah.
Me neither.
Cool.
And I watched it.
Nice. Definitely gonna
so
watch.
Yeah,
Dang.
we'll have to check that out, man. It was definitely on my list. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's such a talented actor.
Yep.
You know, it's amazing that we got him in the MCU as Doctor Strange, because he's perfect at that too.
Yeah.
But you saw him when he was Sherlock, right, Drake?
Oh, yeah.
And then next thing I realized, he's like basically acting against Robert Downey Jr. or with Robert Downey Jr. And I'm like, damn, he's already at that level.
Yeah, it's great. They're both Sherlock. Yeah, his Sherlock was really good too. That's awesome.
They should do a multiverse Sherlock where they also have Johnny from Trainspotting.
Yeah.
Do it.
The Multiverse of Madness Sherlock edition.
Let's do it.
Oh, you could have
and Henry Cavill.
The girl from Stranger Things. Yep, Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then what was Bobby Brown?
Enola Holmes.
Enola pops up.
Yeah, she can pop up.
And Lucy Liu.
Oh yeah, Lucy Liu. She's Watson. There's also a Japanese version.
Watson. Never mind. I don't know.
Of a Sherlock where they have this similar dynamic, but it's a female character is a Sherlock, and then she has another friend who's also a doctor. Same. I forget what it's called. You can just Google Japanese Sherlock and you'll find it. You'll find it.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to do that.
If you're following along at home, this is when you jump on Google and you Google that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And you're gonna go ahead and left click there, and then you're already there.
Oh gosh. So something that hopefully you won't have to Google. We put out a little video about it. It's going off everywhere. Gen V just dropped on Amazon Prime this past weekend, and it is a spinoff of The Boys set with a whole new cast primarily, but you do kind of get some standouts from The Boys as well. And man, it's good. Yeah. I liked it.
It's like a Gen Z.
I liked it.
I concur.
Did I not say the name? Yeah, sorry. Gen Z. Exactly.
Wait, what?
What'd you guys think?
No, the show's
Did I say it wrong too? Again?
No, you said
God
V.
dang it.
I said it's like a Gen Z, and then you're like, yep, Gen Z. And I was like,
sorry.
Yeah, that's the name now.
It's Gen V.
I'm impressionable.
Sorry,
I'm tired.
sorry.
You could say anything, I'll believe it. Talking about some Japanese Sherlock, sure. But yes, Gen V is out on Amazon Prime. I really dug it. I thought these first 3 episodes, I almost liked it. I'm almost liking it more than The Boys. I know it's too soon to say that, really, but there are a lot of things I'm really digging about it. Right off the cuff, what do you guys think about these first 3 episodes?
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. I think the actors are great. I like everyone they have for each of the roles. I think, like you said, you like it a little more than The Boys right away. It could be because, like, for whatever reason, I'm like on board with these actors right away. Maybe it's just more relatable. I feel like college is like maybe closer to us than
death.
A bunch of dudes trying to take down superheroes. I don't know. So there's a lot of things that are relatable to what younger kids or like young adults are dealing with now, and throwing in the chaotic nature of like the Boys universe. Like, so
definitely,
yeah, I feel like they do a good job of like, it's the Boys, because if they're gonna show any sort of blood or any sort of sex or any sort of like little bit of thing that's like, whoa, a little risque, they go all in. It's like boom, like explosions of blood, giant penis in the first episode. Just like they go all in. But they still have stuff that it's like relatable, so it's good. Yeah, all the actors are great. And then that one dude, I noticed he was in Sabrina. I really like him.
The teenage witch?
Chance Perdomo.
Oh,
he's also in this. So. Nice.
Which one is Chance? Which actor?
He's
which character does he play?
the one who plays the younger. Was it Polaris?
Andre. Polarity.
Polarity. Yeah, he's like
he plays the legacy. Yeah, his dad was the original Polarity.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, he's good. He's a good actor. I like that kid. I'm like, man, why haven't I seen him in more things? Mm-hmm. But I think there was Jazz Sinclair also in the Sabrina?
I think she was actually. Yeah, she was. She was one of the witches. Different line of witches. Yeah.
I like her. She's by far one of my favorites.
Pretty much just like her Sabrina, but Gen V, Gen 5.
Yeah, but not as CW. It's very The Boys. Like
The Boys
is
The Boys. Yeah, it does fit this universe.
Well, I can tell you that my wife has watched all 3 of them. She binged it. She usually doesn't binge things because she has a very specific line of things that she likes to watch: reality television, telenovela, and then YouTube Hispanic type people. Okay. And so she went straight, or like influencers, and so she went straight to this.
Two of those categories are almost the same.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're on different kind of streaming services, so Fair. So she binged it, and typically if she's trying to, or when she starts to like explain it to me, or she'll like pause it to like find me wherever I'm at, even if I'm taking a poop, and she'll be like, let me tell you about what I'm just watching. And then I know she's super into it. So that makes me believe that it's super gettable, meaning it's super easy to walk into and enjoy and observe. Mm-hmm. B, it's enthralling so much so that you want to just continue to watch it. Mm-hmm. And C, it's got that drama that just keeps you there. B and C kind of sound similar, but again, different platforms. So
completely different things. The show on what Suits on Hulu or Suits on Netflix is a completely different show than Suits on TNT.
Yeah, or Suits on USA. Oh, yeah. They're all different.
On USA or whatever.
Because one you have commercials, and that's huge.
So different.
Huge.
So different.
Huge.
So different. It's huge. Okay.
Huge. Yeah. But so I think now I'm just gonna throw this warning out there. We're gonna talk full spoilers because there's some things I wanted to dive into.
Let's do it.
But I wanted to get out the initial thoughts. So yeah, full spoilers on this. Skip ahead, I don't know, 20 minutes or so if you want to get to Ahsoka. Man, this show did something that The Boys always does, which is in the first episode, it does something really shocking that you're not expecting in a moment. And you're like, holy shit, this is episode 1. If this is happening in the first episode, what's going to happen the rest of the season? And I think you know which moment I'm talking about, right, Scott?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Should we break that down?
Yeah,
okay,
100%.
Cool. Yeah, so it starts with the leading actress, Jazz Sinclair, when she's younger.
Who plays Marie Moreau.
Yeah, she plays Marie Moreau. And she's in the living room with her family. She gets a stomach ache. All of a sudden, she rushes to the restroom and she's starting her period. Ooh. And this is the first time she's even aware of what that even is. The mom has an inkling. She's going upstairs to talk to her about that. This must be a thing. I'm going to have to talk with her. So she she sees the blood for the first time. She's freaking out. And then on another level, the blood starts floating because her powers start activating right then. And then because of that, she falls over, freaks out. The mom was like, what's going on? Breaks the door in. She freaks out. The blood that was floating flies at the mom's neck, slices her throat. Mom's on the ground, bleeding out. She's freaking out. The dad comes in. What happened? What'd you do? She freaks out even more, starts screaming. The mom, the blood explodes, basically. Shrapnel blood everywhere in the dad's head. Now the dad's dead. And she's just freaking out. And then they show, the sister comes to the door. And then that's when it cuts. And you're like, what the hell? And this is, her origin story.
Okay. Let me describe to you how my wife explained that to me. It's a condensed version.
Okay. Yeah, please lay it on us.
So she comes in and she goes, guess what just happened? I'm like, what? And she goes, oh, so this girl, she started having her period and then she wiped down there and she looked at it and she freaked out and she moved her hand and then her parents died. I mean, pretty much what you just said, Scott. Pretty much what you just said. Verbatim.
I like it.
Yeah.
There was a big chunk of the middle that was just that's not important. Let's just cut that shit out.
I mean,
she looked
straight into the point.
They died.
Yeah. It was huge.
My God, that's great. Alondra's the best.
That's great. Shout out to Alondra.
That's awesome. But yeah, so that's how it starts. Okay, so right off the bat, you're like, holy shit, we're in The Boys. This is very much that vibe. And super gory, hyper violent, just crazy. And then you get all of the satirical stuff too, where it almost feels and the dad is watching the news. It's almost I don't know if this was the VOT Sports News Network yet, or if it was just the news, but it was about A-Train getting nominated into the 7. And so it was the first black man ever. And they basically do it the NCAA draft, or I guess the NFL draft or NBA draft or whatever. So it's these top college athletes now are graduating to the pro level and it's full exploitation. A-Train's doing the whole acceptance speech. I thank God, they got me here to this day. And, nothing wrong with that, but it just definitely spoofing off of what the athletes do when they make these acceptance speeches. And, totally ripping on that. And then we're brought to, modern day in The Boys. So it's right after season 3 of where we find out that they're not these God-given talents, but that all their parents were injecting them with Compound V and that at some point it would materialize and then they'd have powers. Mm-hmm. Well, this now, because this girl's parents is dead, she has one opportunity. She either goes to like an institution when she's done at this foster facility for kids, or she goes to college at Godolphin University, which is where soups go. And then the madness ensues. And because all these kids know that they weren't just special and born with these powers, their parents did this to them, some shit goes down because of that.
Oh,
yeah, it's interesting because like now they no longer feel like they're special. Some of it, depending on the powers, are like hate their parents because they never asked for it, and now they're stuck to deal with these certain situations. And they touch on, depending on the characters, they touch on certain things that I guess like kids now will deal with. Like her roommate, her power, she can like shrink down, but in order to do that, she has to like purge. So she Ant-Man. Like throws up. Yeah, she can shrink down like Ant-Man, but she has to throw up like her food. And like the more she does it, the smaller she shrinks or whatnot.
Eating
and
disorder?
Then like, let me take a stab at it. It's okay. Ooh, bad pun. But basically, okay. So Marie has to cut her. So yeah, maybe we should say trigger warning or whatever, if you're sensitive.
Well,
but
right.
Yeah, Marie has to cut herself in order to use her powers, which is blood manipulation. Little Termite has to throw up or purge herself to shrink and then kind of eat to grow again. Let's see. Golden Boy basically has the pressure of the school on him because he's ranked as the #1 hero. Same with Polarity, who is a legacy character who's basically living in his dad's shadows because his dad was a hero. And so his dad expects him to be #1 so that he can be the top ranked hero. And then we also meet Kate, I can't remember, but basically Kate, when she touches people, she can mind manipulate them, but she touches people like Rogue, and then she can manipulate them. Some people have said it's along the lines of like social media. So as you try to influence people or manipulate them, you kind of lose a piece of yourself. And as you see, the more she uses her power, the more it hurts her.
Yeah, so like it's kind of between. And there's also Jordan.
Yeah. And then there's Jordan Lee, exactly, who is a character who transitions from a boy or a girl, and depending on if she's a boy, she's invulnerable. When when they're a girl, she has like force field powers, but was born a boy, and the parents want her to stay a boy and don't want to accept her or them, but they, I think, identify more as a woman, but they haven't. I don't know if they've really said what their pronoun is or whatever. So it's really interesting. Yeah, a bunch of different issues that kids might have to deal with these days. And man, they play it up so well. Yeah. Right? Do you remember? So again, spoiler alert, at the end of episode 1, Marie is about to get kicked out because she witnesses the heroes. They all go out and party. They're all doing drugs, and Polarity, Andre, ends up slitting this girl's throat by accidentally manipulating this metal. So because of her blood manipulation, she saves this girl and then goes in to talk to the dean, who's played by
Clancy Brown.
I don't know why I said that. Ooh. Clancy Brown, that's what it is, who plays Dr. Brinkenoff, I think it is. But yeah, Dr. Brink, basically. Yeah. And she goes in to like talk to him, and he basically says, hey, well, somebody has to take the rap for all of these heroes that everybody saw them high last night. And yeah, you're going to have to take the bullet for them, or like fall on your sword for the rest of the team. Yeah. And she's like, what? That's not fair. As she's on her way to go tell him about that, she walks in and sees Golden Boy killing him, and Golden Boy flips out on her.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Like he hugs the dean and just sets himself ablaze. And then she sees him like just fall to ashes, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here." And then it just gets crazy.
He's freaking out.
What I liked about this scene too is like, building up to the fighting portion. So, Golden Boy's chasing Marie. Is it Marie? Sorry. Yeah, Marie. Down the hall.
Yeah.
Marie bumps into Jordan, and then Golden Boy's kind of freaking out. He's like, "Are you in on this too?" Starts fighting Jordan. Jordan's his friend is like, "Hey, dude, calm down." What I liked about that fight though was cool. It's like Jordan starts having to fight off Golden Boy, but he's switching between his different powers. Yeah. It reminded me of I don't know if our listeners, how many of you guys played like Super Smash Bros. Melee, but it reminded me of Sheik and Zelda. They transform between the two.
Oh, that's a good example.
Because 2 different sets of powers, but like they're using it like really strategically.
Same character, same person. Yeah, but yeah, they can swap out.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was, and that fight is awesome. Yeah. It is really badass, and both powers look dope. And both actors are phenomenal, and they do seem like they're the same person, which I don't know how they found. Like, the person who's casted this show has killed it. Because even Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is Golden Boy, he, obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
Hey,
but I mean, he's great because he's not quite an asshole. Like, he totally seems like he should be an asshole. He's ranked number 1, but yet he's kind of not. And you find out that he's dealing with his own things too. Oh, also because his brother is kind of locked away in this prison below the school,
right,
for kids who are just losing it.
That's when you start, because you start kind of seeing Luke, Golden Boy, kind of like unraveling a bit and whatnot, and then you're like wondering, like, what you think it might just be the pressure to be the one, because when he's talking to the dean, the dean's like, "Hey, we're making this suit for you. You're a shoo-in for the 7. Like, you're there. You're going up to the big leagues." And you see on his face, he's like, "I don't want this." And you think it might just be a pressure thing, or, you know, he's kind of just like forced by his parents to do this. But then you find out that, like, he's aware that his brother's locked away. And then it gets to a point where he thinks his brother commits suicide because he was locked away. So he has this, like, on the back of his mind. Then you realize the brother's not dead. So, like, he's just, like, pissed. Like, you know. So it's cool. Like, the pacing of this show is really good. It's like, you know, there's that little bit of mystery you're trying to solve. You're trying to figure out what's going on along with the characters. But I feel like everything's, like, the comedy, the pacing of, like, the mystery, and then the action, everything, like, it's got good pacing. Like, really strong first 3 episodes, I'd say.
Super, absolutely, yeah, well said. Super strong. I mean, the symbolism for me, like the symbolism on what kids have to deal with these days, and how it actually comes out, you know, and how they, you know, we talk a lot about, like, oh, it must be so easy, or the pressure, and yada yada, and it's easy to downplay it or knock it down and be like, you know, whatever, these kids got it so good, or that's so dumb, or whatever. But when you see it from this lens, I feel like it's a lot more understandable, and I feel like it's doing a good job of really showing me, like, oh shit, no, that really would suck if you're, you know, you had whatever that situation would be. And I think more so for me, or at least the best example for me, was Little Termite.
Yeah.
And she's kind of this YouTube star. But again, she has to purge herself to shrink down, and she's really famous. But then she starts reading through all the comments on her YouTube, and people are like, "Kill yourself, you suck, blah blah blah," and she's just like sitting there reading these comments and all depressed.
Yeah.
And then you meet her mom, who used to be employed by Vought, who's not employed anymore, and this pressure of, like, no, you know, this is your chance to really be something, and
like,
and I don't know,
take what you
make
can
a
get
name
and
for
roll
yourself.
with it. And she's
Exactly.
like, even if it's, like, at the expense of you and your image and the way people see you. Like,
or even her health.
Yeah, or
right?
clearly,
like
her health too. I really like that actress who plays Emma. Like, she's got the drama down, and then, like, all the comedy beats she has in the show, genuinely
Broadway.
Funny. Yeah,
Totally.
Like,
She's
laughing.
actually,
She's great. I really like her.
Absolutely. She's so good. Again, Jazz Sinclair plays Marie. And the Marie Moreau, if you're like, oh, it's a silly name, it's on purpose because it wants to basically, like, highlight the alliteration we would see in comics, like Clark Kent or Matt Murdock.
Batman.
You know,
Bruce Banner. Batman.
Close. Yeah.
It's off right.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it's so good, man. That first episode, I was like, holy shit, I'm in. Yeah. It did, you know, there were some parts in season 3 of The Boys for me that was like, it was okay. But the first 3 episodes of this show are so freaking strong, and I was really surprised at how good it was and how much I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's enough, like, nods to the other show to remind you that it's part of the same universe, other than just, you know, mentioning Compound V. Like, you see characters like Ashley. You see, like, the director, played by PJ Byrne, who did all, like, the big 7 movies or whatever. Now he's, like, teaching drama at the school. And I thought was interesting too is, like, when I heard it was a school thing, I thought it was like My Hero Academia. Like, they're there to be heroes no matter what. But it turns out only like 5% get that class, and the rest is like, you're gonna do commercials, like, we're gonna teach you how to be on TV and stuff like that. You either do those 2 things, or you go to a facility and they test on you or something. Like, that seems pretty awful. Like
it does.
so stressful.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
I know. And it's like, okay, I guess I'm just an actor now, or a glorified actor. And yeah, and then we see, and I think that's why I like Marie so much too, is you can tell she really wants to be a hero. She's not there. Like, she doesn't have a cell phone. She doesn't even have social media.
Yeah.
She's there because she wants to be the number one hero. And at first you think, oh, because she just wants to be a hero, whatever. But it's like, you kind of realize it's so that she can maybe get on her sister's good graces or something.
Right. Or even just
but
see her again, right? Like, it seems like they're not.
Or even see her again. Yeah. But you can tell, like, she actually is doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's why I like the heroes, quote unquote heroes, right? Because in The Boys, they've been quote unquote heroes. A lot of them have been straight up villains. But in this show, the heroes have actually tried to be heroic.
Yeah.
And they might be screwing up because they're kids or whatever, but they're actually really trying to do the right things for the most part.
Right. And on that, it was nice, like, she comes in and, like, some of the popular, they're pretty much the popular kids, right? The heroes, the top of the class right now. They're like, maybe they're not gelling well. Like, they're juniors. She's a freshman. And, some of the interactions she's had with them have, like, not been the best. And then she gets invited out one night, now is, like, late to them because someone almost died, all this crap. And then when Luke goes, I don't know, did we talk about, he just explodes? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I don't know if we got to that part yet, but yes, after
that,
he runs up to Andre.
Yeah, they're like now going to her, be like, "Hey, you got to help out. We got to figure." And then she's like, "I don't even know you." Like, my thing is, like, I want to be a hero, and I know you're like, "Ooh, like, you know, you guys have a backup plan if nothing works out. Like, you guys have people looking out for you." So you see both of their sides because they're like, there's something shady going on, and also she's like, "I don't even fucking know you." Like,
yeah,
I have to take advantage of this opportunity. So you're like, this is good.
Totally.
Like, I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the start, Jordan, Lee, and her are not friends, or they're not friends. And you get it because Jordan doesn't let her into the class. She wants to be in a superior class. And they're like, no, you weren't, you weren't accepted. And they're like, you find out that it's because Jordan decided that she wasn't going to be accepted in the program. So she gets pissed at Jordan. And then Jordan is the one who basically saves her to some degree from Golden Boy. And because of that, the opportunity is there for Marie to give credit to Jordan on TV. And a random question gets thrown out to Marie on her sister. She kind of loses it and goes into autopilot and just starts reading the teleprompter. And Jordan gets pissed, like, why didn't you give me credit? You know, I'm the one that really saved you and yada, yada. But it makes sense because, they even had that interaction. It's like, well, you weren't even going to let me into the program. And then they slowly become friends after that and whatever, or it seems like they're going that direction. And you're like, damn, this is great writing.
Yeah.
The enemies who are slowly becoming friends, I guess.
Because now they know her backstory. Like, she had that breakdown, right? Like, no, I don't want to talk right now. And then she came on and just told him, like, I killed my parents, not meaning to, and all this stuff. And then you find out even about Kate's backstory, about her brother, tragic as well. When she first found out about her powers, her brother was annoying her, and then she, like, grabbed her brother's arm and was like, I want you to get out of here and never come back. And, like, that's exactly what happened. Like, his brother and they couldn't find him. So it's like they have this tragic. So now they're, like, bonded by tragedy. And it almost has that Runaways feel to me as well. Because now they're like, they're all learning about the big bad, which they thought they were part of something good, and they're like, the higher ups are bad, so they're like kind of a part of it, but they're at that place where they can change something, maybe they think. So kind of reminds me of that. Their bonding is like that.
Yeah. Will they change it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking somebody gets corrupted, and I think this maybe shows how does a hero, or a soup go from starting the school and wanting to do the right thing and be a hero. Emma wants to be Maeve. Jazz, I forgot, or Marie, I think she also likes, I'm not sure who her top hero is. But she's a big fan of the Brink, the professor, who's all about hero ethics and how do you become a great hero and all these things. And, but how does that kid go from that to I'm just a product of Vought, and is just a total shitbag after a while because they're just part of this machine and they're just a product and not really a person, and they don't stand for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, it is so good. They're doing it so right. Yeah, you're right. We get in tie-ins to A-Train. We see that A-Train and Maeve were number 1 heroes at the school, and that the Deep was number 6.
And he's like, still doing videos. Sorry.
He's still like shitty even at the school. You know, it's just hilarious. Totally. We got a nod to, I think her name's Christine, who is played by that redhead lady, Colby Milnife, I think. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. Minife. But,
is her name Christine? Sorry, I was calling her Ashley. That's who I meant. Well,
is it Ashley? No, maybe it is Ashley.
It Ashley? Huh. That one in The Boys where she ends up, there's like a part in one of the seasons where she's like losing all her hair because she's pulling it all out because her job is so damn stressful. Yeah, like she's great again in this. Like she's yelling at like the new higher up. Like, fix the problem. We spent so much money on Golden Boy, and now he's gone. Which we can get back to now. What Golden Boy does.
Which we were finally there. He explodes, kills himself, and it's this big deal. Everybody's all bummed out. Vought spins it that he was on drugs and that he went crazy. And the next episode, there's a memorial for him, and there's a girl who literally has Mr. Fantastic powers. So she stretches out her arm and is basically like crying into her phone, like, and as she ends recording, pulls her phone back, she just stops crying and walks away. It's like there's a total manipulation of emotions for clout, for building your brand, for all that. And it's just this crazy look at life, because how many kids out there may be doing the same thing? Even people, I can't even say kids. There's adults that are doing that same thing. You know, and it's I've
definitely seen those videos. People just like recorded, like it's a recording of them crying and it's like sad music over it, maybe a caption. And then you're like, oh dude. And then you read the caption of someone else and they're like, who films himself crying? And then you're like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, how do you candidly catch yourself crying? Like, you recorded yourself. Like, and then, it's just like, someone sat down and did that. So, it's crazy.
You know which one gets shitted on the most from COVID?
What was that?
Was when Gal Gadot did the
remember?
Imagine all the people. Right, that one? Yeah. And then all the other celebrities jumped in. Man, she gets hated on still for that. But it feels in a way like what that scene was portraying, which is, wow. Yeah, what a day, what an age. I just love how it takes a look at our life. And there's things we see all the time and we're like, probably don't think twice about it. But then you look at it from the boys' lens and you're like, actually, that's kind of fucked up. And that's not right. Yeah. And in a way only the boys could do. So
and I think because the boys they sprinkle in stuff that's like totally real, but then because there's scenes that are like just so over the top, it feels enough like a show that you can just relate to versus something just feeding like, this is the world right now. Like sometimes like, when it's done right, you can relate. But when it's like maybe just overly pushed, you're like, oh, okay, what's like, where's the story and where's the message you're trying to send me, right? Like it starts blending. But
exactly.
Yeah, like
and
the whole.
You get little termite hanging off a dick. Yeah, you get, so the guy so you can feel better about his dick size.
Which I feel bad for her. I would have just been like, fuck.
I feel bad for her too.
Get out of here.
But she gets. I guess a little bit of redemption or something in episode 3.
Yeah. But even like, it's so the boys where they're like, there's a point where they're looking for a phone that Luke left behind and he's like, it's like your dad has it basically. And he's like, my dad or whatever. So then he realizes it's in the statue and he's like, oh, and I'm like, of course it's in the crotch. Like it's a very boys, like you got a whole statue to work with. Of course it's in the dick. And then there's another part where like that, polarities in the stairwell, and then the lady who can touch, Kate, she like tells the dude like suck on the flashlight and shove it in your butt or something, right? And then he like it cuts to him like comedically going down and like sucking on this flashlight, and then later she referenced like, oh, that was so mean. I'm like, yeah, you could have just touched him and said go to sleep, but you said that like, so what are you trying to say? Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, it's just funny. It was such an everything. Yeah, everything everywhere all at once. Where they're all just trying to like shove stuff up their ass so that they can like snap into it or snap out of it or whatever.
That scene was hilarious.
Oh man. Yeah. God, this show is fantastic so far, though. Yeah, I don't know. Any other thoughts on it? I think we kind of touched on it. A lot of great boys tie-ins. The vibe is right. There is great characters with great actors, and the symbolism in the show is on point.
Yeah,
so.
It sounds like. Oh no! It sounds like it's got like a My Hero Academia dark vibe because it's in a school. Is that kind of in the same?
Kind of, but
they're using their powers
like,
they're using their powers in different ways. Tons more obviously like relevant drama. They're trying to be number one, utilizing clouts and things. Obviously different.
Yeah, but not everyone's like accepted into the superhero portion. Versus My Hero's like everyone is played. There's a place for everyone to be a superhero.
Yeah,
most of them really is just gonna be you get a spot in media somewhere.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is a great comparison, but to me it feels like Gossip Girl meets The Boys.
Interesting.
I've never seen Gossip Girl, but I'll take your word for it.
Never seen
Gossip.
There's
like they're like trying to manipulate each other's emotions and like catch them doing something messed up so that they can get one up each other. And everybody's fighting for that top spot and whatever, like, to be the number one hero or to be with the number one hero or to like hang with them.
Yeah.
But but I see what you're saying, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Though this made me think they could totally do one. Like,
True.
I could totally see a My Hero Academia movie or a show like this be done. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. But this also brought up a question for me. Sorry, real quick, is like, do you think running a school like that, granted them knowing that they're test subjects basically changes everything, but if they didn't, they all thought they were gifted, right? Like kind of like the X-Men. Do you think the real way to keep them online would be to have like a Professor Xavier, like someone that's like so OP they can keep, and a good person that can make sure everyone stays within the lines, right? Because some of these students are so powerful. It's like Luke was just going down tearing everyone up. I'm like, who's gonna stop this guy? Like,
right. I was impressed that Jordan could even hang as long as they could. I was like, I was like, oh, because I thought instantly, I was like, wait, are they just gonna kill Jordan in the first episode? Yeah. But
and then his friend Polaris, whatever. I thought he was gonna die too when he's like, I love you, and he hugged him. I thought he was like, I love you, and I was like, is this like a goodbye? I love you, like I'm gonna kill you right now. I love you. Like, jeez, I was kind of scared for him.
Yeah. But it was, it's almost like that Game of Thrones in a sense where you like never know who's gonna die, and at what point. So you're always like, oh shit, it's happening right here.
Very true.
And then it doesn't. Maybe though on the professor thing, because the whole dean of the school, there's like, it feels weird, right? She's kind of taking Marie under her wing a little bit, and it was like, this is the way you're gonna get sponsors, and this is the way you're gonna get your stock up. And then they go to the fundraiser, and it's totally them selling themselves. Yeah, maybe because there's just something up there.
Yeah,
but they have equipment, I guess, too, like that apparently you find out that soups can hear at a different level than normal humans, so they have this loud emitter that like hurts Soup's ears or whatever, and like basically like cripples them, and enough for them to come around and like put in like handcuffs and power dampeners or whatever. So maybe though, I wouldn't put it past them, because we found out in The Boys season 3 that one senator chick was also like the one exploding people's brains.
Yeah, please stop that.
Yeah. So,
but good stuff.
Good. I
definitely
can't
recommend it. I think we went.
Sorry
man. If we went long.
So good.
Go watch it.
Do it.
And I'm sorry if we spoiled the drink.
You don't. You didn't spoil it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, lucky enough, I think there's 9 episodes of the show, so there's still a lot of show left.
Sweet
for you to kind of get on board.
And do we know if it's just like the first 3 came out once and then it's a weekly one at a time, or like 3 at a time every week?
I'm pretty sure it's that.
One at a time. Okay.
So 8 episodes. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they dropped 3, and then it's going to be weekly, 1 episode.
Okay,
week.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, man, check it out. Gen V, it's weird to say like it's so good to have the boys back, but because it's not the boys, but also it kind of is. But and also like the boys could be a pretty tough show to watch for some people, and
very
but
true.
it is.
That reminded the first part of the episode. The first episode, I was like, it reminded me of that. I'm like, this really isn't for everybody, huh? Like,
No, seriously. Christina walked in, she's like, what the fuck fuck. Like, it just walked right out. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, not for everybody. Yeah. Right on. All right. So, yeah, that was Gen V. We're into probably the biggest finale and what everybody probably came here to hear about, which is Ahsoka. And, yeah, oh, gosh. Yeah, I'll let you guys. Well, Drake, why don't you take it away first, since you weren't able to watch Gen V?
Wow. What to say? I mean, Ahsoka. I wrote some notes. I thought the finale was super awesome. It's kind of such a stupid lame, but
dude, sig notes.
Yeah, sig notes. Sig notes. Is
that all in caps?
That yeah, I mean that's pretty much the most of it. It was what it felt like to me was as you're peering out of the window. Or you're peering at a window and the window's closing, and as you're zooming in, you're looking in towards, and it's like it's opening another environment, another area.
Feels like like those ones, like the 3D art where people can keep zooming in, and each time it's like
I love those.
Through there's like a new image. Yeah. Oh man, I love those.
It was so essentially. There's so much closure on the things that were pimped earlier. There's a lot of finality to this finale. You get to see a lot of the things that we were like, are they going to talk about that? Like, why did that happen? All of those things kind of conclude. And then there's moments where we're like, oh, one of the things that I totally forgot when they showed Baylan and Shin, I was like, oh yeah, they're in this show too. Totally forgot that they were even there. And then when they showed them, I was like, oh, yeah, there's a story plot to be had here. And, oh, look at this new interesting story plot. And then even when Ezra and Hera finally, spoiler alert, met back up, I'm like, oh, here's another story plot here. Because now we have Ahsoka and Sabine still on Peridia. And we're like, oh, okay. And then you have even the grandeur of the things where you have Thrawn, spoiler alert, where they're now at Dathomir. And so there's just all these new windows that you just want to look through after we've just kind of concluded the beginning of Ahsoka. And I thought it was one of the best finales into anticipatory want moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great too. I really thought they did a good job of making it feel like a finale and making it feel like it did close a lot. There was a few things for me. Let's just talk about good. I loved it. I still think it's S tier. I think it's fantastic. But I did feel like, because you mentioned Baylan and Shin, I was like, what happened to them? I felt like they kind of got left out. And I saw somebody online say, I think that the death of Ray Stevenson kind of threw them off. And maybe they had a different ending for his character. And then they just had to just leave it at a cliffhanger to not mess with. I don't know.
Because maybe the other ending would have to have them show more of him or something. Whereas this, it could be like, he's off on his journey. We don't need. If we never show him again, we know he's working towards something.
Exactly. Yeah. Which that was the thing. My biggest question through the season was what's Baylan's main goal, and they weren't able to answer it, and that's okay. So that was just something that was constantly stuck in my head. But the action in this, what we get to see with Ezra, what we got to see with Sabine, what we got to see with Morgan Elsbeth, her finally. Christina was asking me like, why doesn't she look like the rest of the Night Sisters? And then boom, right in this episode they show it, and you're like, oh, sick! Like it's an earned thing to look like that. Now that you're just born like that, which I thought was amazing. Yeah, so I mean, all of that was really great, but I think that was one thing for me. I was like, oh man, like I wish I had more of an answer there. And then my last thing was, I felt like Sabine and Ahsoka basically just swapped places with Thrawn and Ezra. I was like, oh wait, so at the end of this, they just swapped places. Yeah. So that was funny, but it just kind of made me chuckle to myself after. But this show felt like the most like a TV show out of anything I've seen in Star Wars for a while. Maybe not Andor. Maybe that's why I liked Andor. But it felt like a real show.
Yeah,
you know, like some Marvel things feel like a movie chopped up into 6 parts.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
This felt like a show.
I wanted to juxtapose your thoughts on the swap, like Sabine and Ahsoka were willing to do kind of anything to help each other to an extent, and then Thrawn is willing to sacrifice anything to get his goals accomplished. Like,
I like that.
Even with Morgan, like when you see Morgan, like, oh, like it to me, it seemed like Morgan. There was a point in time where she was like, "Oh shit, this is Thrawn." Like I was always a pawn. And like when she realizes, slowly,
like, I'm
and
supposed to be there for the long ride. Like,
and she's just everybody's expendable. Yeah, so
and then the mean girls walk by her.
Yeah, like what's that, bitch? But I think that's what differentiates Thrawn from a lot of what we've seen previously in Star Wars is just that the amount of like sacrifice he's just willing to just you're gone and you're dead. Yeah. So man, it's scary.
Everybody's expendable.
But I still don't know why though. Like everybody follows him. Like, does he got like a big dick or like I don't understand. Like I don't understand.
He's got the energy.
Yeah, he's got that that big bottle energy. Yeah. But
Garen's.
But
Big Blue.
But like from a Morgan standpoint, right? Like knowing that he's willing to achieve his goals in that way, like you're so willing to sacrifice for him, but even though like I don't know, it's tough.
Yeah, it was a little I kind of have that question a little bit too. Yeah, but what about you, Scott? What was your take on this finale?
I thought it was great. Like the action was crazy good.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see more Thrawn. That's why like I mean even before I watched the episode I was I guess reading fake headlines but there were something like was Ahsoka canceled, and then now I'm hearing like season 2 is probably greenlit, right?
Dude, you got to follow our social media. I don't know where you're going for this.
Hey, you got to reach out and see other stuff too. You know? The wrong shit. I'm reading wrong stuff. Yeah, you're right. But like especially with this ending, I'm glad I like read that first, and then you were like, "Don't worry," and then I watched the episode because with the way it was left off, I'm like, dude, I can't wait to see more Thrawn. Like, I can't wait to, like, of course, Ahsoka's going to come back somehow. She's going to, like, maybe Dory call those whales back or something and, like, ride back or something. I don't know. She seems pretty, she's like, we're home now, for now, I guess. Also, I don't know if she saw Anakin, because it seemed like Sabine, well, it seemed like Sabine almost, like, I swear I saw something. And then Ahsoka's like, I feel like Ahsoka looked and was like, yeah, I see you, bro. And then, like he saw and like Sabine, or she saw and Sabine didn't or something. That was pretty cool. Yeah. But
I was fully like my head. She fully saw him, and then he saw her. Like
Ahsoka,
I thought they
right?
fully were. Yeah, exactly. Like Ahsoka and him fully saw each other and acknowledged each other.
Right.
That was my take on it.
Okay. Yeah, just because yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. Like I had a strong feeling that she saw him, but the way it ended, I'm like, also he could have just been a ghost. Like, I hope she sees me. Like just the way it faced out.
They didn't say anything.
Yeah, he was just like,
they just looked.
How did you feel about Sabine tapping into the Force?
That was really cool. I thought
it was,
and it was cool that like she was kind of being like thrown into the fire to like do it, like sink or swim. Like, we fucking need your help right now. Open these doors, and like she had to like, which I sent you guys that thing after. Like I just saw that clip of the sketch that's on Netflix. What is it called? I think You Should Leave.
What's that guy's name?
But that guy's so funny. But it's just basically the sketch is like he ends a job interview, and then he's gonna go to a door, and then the guy who interviewed him is like, "Oh, I think it's a push," and he's like, "No, this door goes both ways," and then he starts pulling it. And then it just gets awkward and the door starts slowly like breaking. And then he pulls it forward and he breaks the door and then he leaves. And it's like super awkward. He's sweating. And it just made me think because they're like, open the door. And I'm like, have they even seen this door? How do they know how it opens? They're just shooting force at it, like hoping they're opening it the right way. You know? Right. Like, are they pushing, pulling? And it's like, you push inward. Yeah. So I thought that was just kind of funny. There was just a bunch of little things I thought were just kind of funny. But overall, I really liked the episode.
Yeah, I found it. I mean, I guess it's under I Think You Should Reel. So if you look that up, you'll see some of those clips.
Okay, and I think the show's called I Think You Should Leave.
I think you should. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think you should leave.
So it was. I loved it. I felt earned by Ahsoka being able to grab that lightsaber.
Yep.
Man, this is gonna sound super nitpicky because I did like it. I was like, oh, I liked it. That was sick. This is so good. But it was like, I felt like it went from I could barely get my lightsaber to, oh, Ezra, jump across this thing and let me yeet you like 1,000 miles.
Yeah, she was in her feels, dude. I think like that's why I think it was like real sink or swim. For me, I was like, it must have been like she finally figured out how to do it.
Like she feels
and
it.
then she's like, I still kind of feel like I know what I'm doing right now, so we got to do it while I got it.
Well, I can't.
Oh yeah.
Before I get the yips or something. You know?
Oh, yeah. We don't say that.
Oh, sorry. Did we not say that?
Yeah, you got it now. Yeah.
But we're not even playing sports, so like.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Don't throw that at me.
The sport of podcast.
Hey-o. Something that I really want to see is a Hu Yang throughout the years, like 15-minute episode of just like his backstory. Holy shit. Like when he was like, oh, Kanan Jarrus, look, I have this fucking thing that I held for him and now it can be yours. Like, oh, that's crazy. Like how the fuck long have you been alive, bro?
And he's like, long enough to know. Yeah, and I was like, that's not an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody found out or did the math or whatever. He's like 25,000 years old.
Yeah, it's on Looper.
How old?
Is it?
How old?
Yeah.
25,000 years.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got the Energizer in him.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Anyway, whatever it was, like 61% original parts. Like they did, things were built better back in the day.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know what I mean? Like built different. Literally. But that part was so great where Ezra's putting together the lightsaber just like Kanan's lightsaber, and it just got you in the feels, and you're like, oh my god, the student has become the master, the Padawan, has become the master. Oh, I love that so much. I thought that part was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then they get into the Sith, whatever, where the bad guys are. And then they're all like back to back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And Ahsoka's in the middle, dual wielding it. Sabine's on one side. Ezra's on the other side. And
Star Wars zombies.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But the whole thing,
really, really cool.
Yeah, it was just like the choreography's great. Sabine doing the shooting and the cutting now.
Teamwork, great.
Yep. Yeah.
It seemed like, I swear at one point, Ahsoka was just doing this. And lasers.
They were doing like being
bit.
circled. There was definitely choreographed situations, but that makes sense.
There's also things like, so in those moments, I'm like, they're like, I'm like, if I had the Force powers, I would just like McTwist people or some shit, like boop, and then cut their legs, or like, like use the Force a little more creative. Geez. I think
sounds like the dark side.
Yeah, you're evil, bro.
I'm like, it had to be done, guys.
Big twist to like double amputee or whatever.
Just concave people's helmets in.
Jesus,
they're asleep.
To
like
the
those Batman sketches.
So Batman fires. Oh my goodness, Pete Holmes, you're hilarious.
But there are definitely parts where I'm like, especially like Ahsoka's fighting one of the stormtroopers in the black up top. I'm like, just push that guy off the building. Like, he's dead. He's an undead guy. Like, force push him. If you have enough power to jump to a ship 50 feet, 100 feet away, or whatever the hell, you can force push a guy 20 feet off a building. Like, why are you fighting him? Like, just boom.
Oh, sorry, Scott. I never always use like the force math guy.
I had force powers, boy. You clock some guys with no force punches out.
Yeah, so I apparently, like, Ezra's getting a lot of shit online because his kicks, in the last episode or the previous episode, he was like kicking and doing all that stuff, and they were like, he was still hitting them, but he wasn't actually making contact.
Oh.
And then people kind of reference in Return of the Jedi when Luke does that on the ship. In Tatooine, he like kicks, and it like is a freaking 3 feet away from this dude's face.
Force kick, bro.
And the guy goes like, force kick.
Yes,
yeah. Like,
well, actually, he should have been doing that more, because when we first saw Ezra, he was doing all this like Avatar, the Last Airbender moves, like hitting people with just force powers, and then all of a sudden he's trying to punch armor. And I'm like, dude, just use your force right now. You don't like, I
Right.
Like,
Yeah. It's
kinda-
like, why did you forget one episode to the next?
Yeah.
You know, now that you got a lightsaber, you don't actually have to make contact anymore.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
yeah, but he was sick. I mean, they really did a good job of making him look cool. Again, yeah, you're right. The choreography was great. In fact, I think my favorite fight out of all of them, though, was Ahsoka versus Morgan Elsbeth.
Ooh, yeah.
Where she gets the magic sword with a K.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the choreography. They were going off. Like,
That was
Rosario
super cool.
Dawson. Mhm.
Just the one thing was like the stormtroopers, they were shooting at her while she was backing up, but then as soon as they got to that area, they're like, "Nah, let's watch this." And like,
yeah.
it's like they were like, they so don't trust their aim that they're like, "I don't want to hit Morgan." So
Yeah. They're zombified too, so
yeah,
Yeah, I was wondering about that. So, like, everybody was debating, you know, were all of the stormtroopers or night troopers that had the red sashes, were they alive or dead? But people were constantly asking about it. We see now that they weren't quite dead because they were reanimated after and they turned into zombies. But yeah, I was like, were all of them just dead? And then were all of them, so that I couldn't tell what they were or not. And then I'm like, man, these zombies really don't trust their aim when they stopped shooting because they were in the circle.
yeah.
Yeah.
there was a point where the zombies were zombieing, like they were like, oh, and then all of a sudden they're running upstairs like regular human beings. They're like, yeah, let's run upstairs.
Yeah.
They're like,
Watch your step, guys.
yeah. Let's take a
Bobby
file.
fell last
Take
week.
your time.
Didn't Ahsoka fight somebody in Mandalorian as well?
Morgan Elsbeth.
That was Morgan Elsbeth, right? With the Beskar.
Yeah, she had the Beskar spear.
So that closure was nice as well too.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but that fight,
It's true.
That fight scene was awesome.
Yeah, it's just, man, Morgan Elsbeth, you know, started this season, started with Balin and Shinbreaker out, and then all of that work she did throughout this season was basically just to get left there.
I know.
You know, and right when she gets to her probably highest level or whatever as a full Night Sister, it's like,
It's funny. She's like the only bad guy that I ever felt bad for. Like,
yeah,
I'm normally like,
totally.
yeah, screw you, but I feel like it's when Thrawn's like, someone's gotta stay, you know.
She's like,
She's like,
shit.
me?
yeah, me then, I guess. He's like,
Yeah, like,
and
I
then
know.
I felt bad for her, and then she gets double cut, and I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
She's dead now. Like,
I
felt bad for
know,
her.
it's brutal.
Well,
Shout out
yeah.
to Diana Lee.
yeah, you crushed it.
Santo?
You know, Santo.
Yeah, she killed it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was great. Hopefully, Ahsoka keeps that blade because it did break her her lightsaber.
Her lightsaber,
yeah, which is actually slanted, much like Dooku's, but in the opposite direction, like a katana. So that was pretty awesome. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was cool.
Oh, you know what else was weird? I didn't understand the thought behind Ezra when he lands and he like just walks off the ship as a stormtrooper. Like, hey, this would be a cool gag. Let me just go out there as a stormtrooper and hope I don't get shot, and then take off my helmet. Like, what are you thinking? Take off your helmet. Like,
I know. I don't know
What
why
if they
he
just shot
was
him?
like he escaped, and then when he landed, he was like, maybe I should take this off. He was like, nah, just go out there like that.
nah, he's like, dude, it's gonna be hilarious. And he's like, is that no way? That's him. I'm like, yeah, that's me, dude. Like, what? that's such a bad.
He's like,
plan.
he drops
That
off
was
and
a
he's
bad
like,
plan.
hey, Hera, I really liked you in Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim fights the. Ah, God, I messed up that joke so bad.
I know.
Moving on.
Oh, dang
up.
it.
Yeah, he waits for the
Oh,
robot
man.
to come over.
Oh,
I
that
know,
would've slapped.
son of a bee.
Oh, damn. Wait,
But
say it
yeah,
again.
you're
We'll cut
right. It just doesn't make sense when you're out of the hit. You know, the biggest part of the battle. You finally get out, and like you get back to Hera. You know, and Chopper. Maybe Zeb's there,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, surprise, it's me.
You know, I think
crazy move.
it comes down to him being too goddamn casual again.
Cool goddamn
He's
kid.
like, his friends didn't make it, and he's like, let
Yeah.
me just do this for lulz. I'll go out
But
like a stormtrooper.
knowing Thrawn, though, right? Like, knowing Thrawn, he knows everything. He's calculated. So he let Ezra leave? Because
part
how
of the
could you
plan.
not know? How could you not
Yeah,
know Ezra took a ship off your plane and then...
That's true.
Oh, that was the other thing.
he
Ezra
did that
jumps on there?
before though.
That's true, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he did that before. I think in Rebels.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
this-
okay.
So he's like apparently really good at hiding
being sneaky.
and getting armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really sneaky.
The other
Were you
thing
gonna say,
too is
Scott?
like the two stormtroopers. You know when they're like, "Are we gonna jump? You gotta jump! Like right now, we gotta do it!" And they're just hanging out, right? And Ezra goes, she gives him the boost, he goes up, fights the first one, and then she just goes boom and shoots the other one out. And I'm like, you could have done that the whole time. You could have just shot these guys. Like, why'd you wait? I don't know. But that's why I find when I like the thing, I enjoy this episode so much. It's just the little things that I found were hilarious. Too little to even like break me liking it. Like, it's just kind of funny to me, but I still really enjoyed this thing. It's really good.
100%. Yeah, it wasn't enough to break me out of anything, but I did find myself catching those really little things and being like, wait, why? Yeah. You're just like, okay, whatever. But I mean, my like for it like trumped all of the little silly things that kind of didn't make sense. And that's how good of an ending it kind of was. You know, it still gave us a lot of what we wanted to see. And I think I still have so many questions. Yeah. And that feels like a TV show. And also, what questions do you guys still have? And maybe let's talk briefly about maybe some predictions for season 2.
Baylan, Shin, what is going to happen there? Those are my 2 largest questions.
Yeah, that's true. Because Baylan, you know,
he joined
found
Lord of the
his
Rings.
Mount Rushmore where his face was carved into the rock. He's like, that's me.
Yeah,
definitely. What I have seen online, and totally hilarious on the Mount Rushmore, but it was, I guess somebody put it up against a picture of the father, brother, and sister, and it totally looks like the father and brother, but that the sister's head is cut off. And somebody wrote, it's because the sister has arrived, meaning Ahsoka.
I gotta look into the father and brother thing. I don't really know what all that is, but
that's from Clone Wars. There's a really acid trip of an episode where Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka all go to this planet, meet the Immortus gods, who are again father, brother, sister. The father let's put it this way: the brother is the dark side of the Force, sister is the light side of the Force, and the father is the balance. Oh. And and so the father looks like the mountain that statue that Baylan is standing on, and then the brother looks like the statue next to the brother.
Oh, okay.
And then the sister wasn't there.
Yeah,
and then we see the Morai Owl.
Oh yeah,
that's I was just saying, to get wheels.
The freaking Ahsoka Pueo, bro. But for real, I mean, that's Ahsoka's thing in Rebels. There's always that Morai Owl. I think even in Clone Wars. Can't remember. I haven't watched that in a while. But so I like that theory, and I think it is them. So maybe we see the beginning of the Immortus gods and the beginning to these archetypes or people who first tapped into the Force. I don't know.
That would make sense if they're trying to lead into the High Republic, because the High Republic and all of that what is it called, like regalia and quote unquote religion. Hopefully that'll kind of help broaden it when we see the start of it, right, with those individuals. But what about Shin? She raises her sword, her lightsaber, to the Japanese style Tusken Raiders. I think she's going to become their leader and then maybe have some babies. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know about that at all. I don't know where they were going with Shin and Baylan. Again, that's my biggest question still. Is like, he's like, we have to start something over. This is our chance to take power. And most of my questions revolve around him and it's a product of Ray Stevenson did such a good job. I want to know more about that character.
Yeah.
And knowing about that character is knowing about their motivation and what they want. And I still don't know what he wants.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. I really like that character.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He killed it. But yeah, interesting to see what they do with that. Obviously, I don't think Ezra and Hera have to go back to that galaxy to save them.
No.
If I had to predict something for season 2, this is what I would do.
Teleportation.
Is they would. Because they can still use the light speed of the Force. They have to justify fuel or whatever, right? But if they could basically say that with Ahsoka and Sabine combining their powers in the Force, they're able to navigate the space in between the galaxies to fly back, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
So you just start off season 2, they're on that planet, they're figuring out how they're going to make the trip. They decide that's how they're going to make the trip. Or maybe there's one battle between them and Baylan, and Shin, but they decide that's the way they're going to fly back. They are able to navigate to get back to the galaxy there. And Ezra and Hera and Zeb are all preparing because there's rumors of Thrawn returning and starting a whole new force, basically building up his empire on Dathomir.
Yeah. It's like Polynesians in space, just using the Force to navigate across galaxies, huh?
Yeah. Brought a Thrawn Kamehameha over here, just uniting the galaxy.
Wait, that guy, huh? That guy. It definitely opens up the Star Wars universe more without the multiversal type situation. I really like that expansion. I know we talked about it the last time we spoke about it, but it makes it very, very interesting to now, because now we can we have the established IP. We have, the A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and now we have kind of this where we can look back but still move forward.
Yep. And man, it's such a good place to start. Like, I feel like we were just getting a piece of this, and now it's done. And I'm like, okay, I want more. And I think that is the sign, for anything of like, wow, that's a really good show. I felt that about One Piece. I felt that about maybe not Succession, because I felt like they wrapped that up pretty nice. But, you're like, damn, like I want more right now.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
So, all right. Well, I think that kind of wrapped.
Good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Good.
Say
We'll
that
make
one
it
more
work.
It's so
good.
Hi, good.
Okay.
Okay, good.
It's raw.
I tried to help you out there.
Okay.
It was all bad.
It's okay.
Was all bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to close it out for tonight?
Before.
Yeah.
Loki season 2 starts like tomorrow or tonight. However you want to watch it, stay up. But buddy,
we could go into. Oh my God. All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you guys later. Man, I know what I'm doing right after this. Yes, Loki season 2. And by all accounts, man, I've read a few things from people who got screeners. I guess they got the first 4 episodes.
Oh, nice.
Which, how is that fair? But apparently people are like, this is some of the best stuff Marvel's done in a long time.
What?
So don't want to blow your expectations through the roof. But that's what I've read. I'm going to try to think about it being Boba Fett and not being Ahsoka. And then, I'm
going to try not to get too excited and just enjoy for what it is. But
exactly,
I'm excited to have it again.
Mm-hmm. My last word is that this Looper article has the Ones / the Celestials number 6 on the most powerful beings in the Star Wars universe, and then number 5 is Rey.
Number 5 is Rey. Wow.
Yep.
Where does Luke stack up then?
Luke is number 4.
Or Leia. Number 4. Okay, Leia 3, or they tie Luke and Leia together?
Nope. Yoda 3, Darth Sidious 2, Darth Vader 1.
Damn.
Yep.
Leia just getting shit on.
Yep. She's not even in the thing. She's not even in the list.
What?
She's not even in the list.
That's a BS list, bro. That list is wrong.
It's so funny how I'm obviously I run into this too, but it's funny you just read one list and you're like, this guy's got it so wrong. Fuck this guy. As if just because he wrote a list and posted it, we're like, oh man, I gotta believe this shit. It's so funny. But I love a good list, and I'll look for another list that reflects my thoughts. I'm like, yeah, that's a good list right here.
That's true.
Yeah. This guy gets it. This is actually a smart person who wrote this. Some dumb writer at Looper. No, totally. That's why we don't list things on this as much anymore.
Because it changes too.
Yeah, it totally does. Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, somebody take it away and close us out.
Well, let's see if I can. All right.
No, what are you gonna do?
What if we do? No, I'll say thanks, and then you say 4, and then someone else says shticking it.
Thanks for shticking it, everybody.
All right, cool. All right, then.
All right. Have a good night.
The Joystick Show.
If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, we'd really appreciate a follow, subscribe, and a review. Just how we like chatting with our friends, please share this with yours. Feel free to join the squad and follow us at JoyStickShow Joystick Show on Twitter and Instagram, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you feel like submitting topics or questions to be discussed on future episodes, you can email us at joystick.show@gmail.com. As always, thank you, peace out, and make it a great rest of your week.